first order of business is to approve the minutes of our November 12th meeting.
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, for the part that we always so much look forward to, Controller Edwards for the approval of the bills.
And Rob looks forward to also.
General fund, $1,163,703.59. Liquid fuels, $6,985.54. Hazmat, $13,718.37. 911, $21,735.33. CDBG, $308,364.57. Domestic relations, $5,142.55. And children and youth, $1,059,571.14, for a total of $2,579,221.09.
Motion to approve the bills as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, Controller Edwards. Give us a moment while we sign here. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move on to personnel. Personnel changes for the Commissioner's approval today. We have one, that is a transfer, Enforcement Officer DRO to DuBois Office Supervisor DRO, effective 11/24/25. No new hires, separations, or leave of absence request. Motion to approve personnel matters.
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second. All in favor? Aye. Public comment.
I see the treasurer's here. Did he come to comment?
The treasurer has joined us.
He just
Well,
came to watch the festivities.
We're gonna send all complaints to the treasurer for the.
Must be a slow day in the treasurer's office.
Well, I have fielded some complaints about the raising of dog license fees.
I'll tell you what office didn't raise them.
Well, it all lands on you, Jay. Any old business to come before the board today? Hearing none, move on to new business. Item number 1, consider approval of tentative 2026 budget to be placed on public display. We have a roughly 70-page document here prepared.
Yeah, I can grab it. It's actually on the display right now.
It's fine, we're gonna pretend it's sitting here.
Well, and it'll be on the website by the end, by the time, within an hour,
Yeah, it'll be on the website shortly.
Thanks, Lisa.
assuming it's approved, which I'm hoping we will. Would you want me to talk about it a little bit?
You can talk about it a little bit, we can all talk about it a little bit.
Okay, well, I don't want to bury the lead. This contemplates a 2.5 mil tax increase. Before we added that in, we were looking at a roughly $3.3 million deficit. I went over it many times. Rob went over it many times. You guys went over it.
Went over it line by line
There's just not a whole lot of
page by page.
not a whole lot of fat to trim. A few things that I will note that have put us in this position. Number one, we had a pretty significant increase to our retirement contribution, actuarially determined. Last year, I want to say it was 860,000, give or take.
837.
837. This year, it's like 1.2 million. Health insurance has gone up, not the rate. Our rates are actually very, very good, but what's going up is the number of people on it, which goes into the other piece that we're fully staffed. We're close to it for the first time since I've been here. We've constantly been struggling for staff. That has not been the case the last year or so, and as you can see, that's the least I've ever seen on the transaction report for personnel in a long, maybe since I've been here. And then you come into the revenue side. The state is either flat or declining on most of their things. There's a couple of big ones in CYS that actually went down, and the federal side is flat or declining. So you kind of throw all that together, and plus I think I'd be remiss if I didn't mention that The courts are busier than ever, and I know Jeff covers it. You can speak to the fact. I mean, there's just always court cases. The list of trials is out there. They're constantly doing jury selection. That means more money for the courts. It means more money for the jails when the people get convicted. Our jail is overfull. It has been for a long time. That costs taxpayers a lot of money. And then probation is up almost 50% over last year. So there's a lot of factors, but I would say that's
No, those are the big
Majority of
ones,
them.
and of course, jail-related, the healthcare costs at the jail are,
high.
as population stays high, those costs stay high, and these are,
$1 a year.
There's one other thing I wanted to mention. I kind of went back in time and looked at the state budget in 2015 versus now, and our budget in 2015 versus now. The state budget in 2015 was about a $30 billion general fund, and they just passed one at $50 billion. So in 10 years, it's gone up what is that, 2/3, 66% increase, give or take. But we don't feel it because their revenue is on income tax and sales tax primarily. Well, as you make more money, your income tax goes up. As you spend more, as prices go up, as they have, the sales tax revenue for them. So they're able to increase their revenue without making a move to change their tax rate. They also have gambling and other ways that they're trying to find other revenue sources. We simply don't have access to that. We have property tax and whatever the state and feds decide to give us from their budgets. That's it. And some of our, I'll call them unfunded mandates, I looked, our ATA, we paid the ATA in 2015 $118,000, and that's a mandatory match. This year, our mandatory match is $215,000, so it's just short of doubled in that amount of time.
right, the things that are being mandated on us by the state and federal government, unfortunately, are not being funded proportionally.
And I think as a county, our revenue, our budget expansion is lower than the states over the same period of time. And it's the same story in a lot of counties, right? We were just at CCAP, I asked around. I'm not saying every county is raising taxes, but the vast majority of the ones I talked to, they're just in this fix. We asked for money, as CCAP asked for additional monies from the state, and we didn't get them, so.
And as Commissioner Glass mentioned earlier, we are very diligent about going over the budget and looking for ways that we can save. And I think being prudent has paid off for us in the last year. We were able to weather the state shutdown, which incredibly lengthy state shutdown, and a briefer federal shutdown with reserves on hand and without laying off or cutting back on services. So we have to budget for all possible occurrences. And I think as a group of three here, we have done, and with Controller Edwards, we have done a good job with that. But we cannot conjure money out of the air.
I can't say enough, by the way, about working with Controller Edwards. I mean, he and I really tag team putting this budget together, and I certainly couldn't have done it without him. There was a ton of communication, and thank you.
Yeah,
And
we used to-
instead of a raise, you get a big thank you, sir.
yeah. Well, we used to spend quite a bit of money on outside help,
Yes.
accounting help too, when Rob's.
Yeah, we've saved-
Rob's- We saved quite a bit of money with Rob's involvement.
Yeah, with us taking it in-house, that's definitely saved us money.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyhow, that is where we stand. We'll,
The only other thing I wanted to bring up, and there were so many of these, in 2015, CYS was just over 6 million, and now it's just under 12.
just under 12, yes.
Well, I
That
mean,
is,
The state does pick up the majority of that, but we have, give or take, 20%, so that we have to pay
well,
for.
that's still a 2 million plus out of county revenues that
And I-
goes into that.
And when we were short-staffed up there, we were out of compliance, we were way late on reporting and a lot of other things, and we were, kids were more in danger. I mean, it's unfortunate, I wish that this department didn't have to exist, but if there was one thing I've learned in the 6 years I've been here, it's that there are a lot of kids in serious trouble in this county, and this department is crucial.
What, really, the only thing I wanted to say too is I'm hoping with probation being up 50%, that is true. But a lot of that is due to staffing increases that we've agreed to. I would hope going forward that that would, in the long run, result in some reduction in numbers at the jail.
Yes,
Because,
agree.
you
No,
know,
I agree. It's a-
That's something I hate to use the word expect, but that's something I'm looking
Oh.
to happen in the future, hopefully, which hopefully will result in some savings, and because you're absolutely right, the jail,
Well, we would hope to see a return on our investment
Yeah,
in the
that's exactly
probation
right.
department and perhaps a reduction in incarcerations here within the county.
yeah, and we're looking forward in the next year, I believe, to having a drug court, and some other different ways of doing things that I hope also results in the long run, results in some additional savings along those lines.
Well,
Any other comment, gentlemen? We have,
I'll make a motion to approve it, the tentative budget, and put it on display.
I'll second.
Oh. I was gonna second it myself. Anyhow, properly moved and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Budget will be placed on public display for a period of 20 days.
I believe the 23rd is when we're voting on it.
We will vote on this on the 23rd. It will also be, I'm gonna say by the end of business today, it will be posted on the website so as not to chuck the IT people under the bus and say it's gonna be up in an hour.
Well, as soon as she leaves here and we get it to her, she'll put, no, she's fast like that. So if it's late, it's our fault, not hers. And just
Okay.
as a reminder for the public, that there could be changes in the meantime, and we would then have a list of those changes as part of our resolution.
Yeah. And I would ask that the public also, please review the budget, and if you have questions or you have suggestions, please let us know them. You know, it's very difficult when you're an elected official and you take action, there's a period of public review, the public stays silent, and then you assume everything's okay, or people at least are willing to live with it, and then you get flamethrowered, you know, after you take the action.
Yeah, that's when the populace shows up in January with their pitchforks.
Yeah, you know, just please, this is an advantage for the public to take a look and comment.
We were trying to avoid this.
No, and we have all been back and forth on this, but no, that the public review is for a reason.
That's
And
very
we
important.
encourage people to either online or in person, come in and take a look at the budget. Okay, moving on. Item 2, consider termination of lease with WWA Holdings LLC.
We've discussed this. This is part of the purchase of the East Locust Street building and the change in the magisterial office. But just to make sure it is reflected in the minutes, we would just be confirming our notice to WWA Holdings that we would no longer be using this space out
Is this
at
a 6-month
there.
out?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll move that we do the same.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And just kind of as an aside, and I know we can talk more about this later, but sooner rather than later, we're gonna have to jump on the renovations over there. I mean, we just started a clock.
Yes,
So,
that, exactly.
Yep.
Okay, consider renewal of agreement with Civic Plus.
Civic Plus is a, and I will turn to IT, not to put them on the spot today if there's any specific questions. This is a renewal agreement for the SSL management and hosting security. There was a change in the fee. The annual service fee is $5,621.15. Again, it is annual. There's a 60-day termination, so if the IT needed to make any changes, they would be able to do so prior to its renewal next January 9th of 2026. I'm sorry, that's our next renewal date, so then if we would let them know before the renewal of January of 2027.
you've been happy?
Yeah.
I mean, they helped us with the redesign. I think the redesign has been really good. I like the website a lot better now. I think I haven't had any complaints from the public about the design. There is one small thing I do want to talk to you about with the website, but I think it's been a success.
No, it's a vast improvement.
Well, I'll make the motion to renew the agreement.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Now, item 4, consider a mutual cooperation and coordination agreement with Health Partners Plans Incorporated.
This is another service provider of CYS, similar to other coordination agreements. This is the information sharing that everyone's going to abide by HIPAA, share the necessary information, and just how that coordination is going to work. To the best of my knowledge, we've never had any issues with them.
Okay, you will find we have a number of these perfunctory
Yes.
things to cover today. Item 5, consider a memorandum of
We need to vote on 4.
I'll move that we approve the memorandum.
Let's vote on 4.
I'll second.
Yeah.
Properly moved in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now, we'll go on to 5. Consider a memorandum of understanding with Swan Legal Services Initiative.
This is a longer agreement that comes up. We worked with Swan for several years as part of CYS now. So this agreement is October 1st of 2025 through June 30th of 2030. They provide paralegal services for CYS. Right now we have 3 paralegals up there. They assist CYS, they assist the attorneys in case management. And this is our memorandum of understanding to continue that process as long as the funding is made available to them.
Yeah.
Okay, and noting that this is a 5-year
Yes.
agreement.
Well, 4.5.
4.5.
And that is not, that does not come, or the cost of the same does not come out of the general
Correct.
fund. Yeah.
Okay, motion to consider memorandum of understanding with Swan Legal Services.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next, consider transportation plan with the DuBois Area School District.
Yes, we had done these previously for a few of the schools. We do them for 1 in each county. There's no changes to the prior agreement. This is just ensuring the transportation for anyone placed through CYS and the school districts.
I'll move that we approve the linkage agreement, or I'm sorry, the transportation plan.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, we'll go to that linkage agreement that John mentioned with Community County Services.
And if it's okay, I'm gonna kind of speak to number 7 and number 8. They kind of go hand in hand. Community County Services has been a longtime provider. We have their renewal with CYS and juvenile probation up for its renewal for this current fiscal year. No major changes. Along with that would be their linkage agreement and discussing how we share and keep the information for those individuals that they are providing services for. Again, similar to the prior, to just ensure everyone's staying in compliance with the relevant laws in there. So both of those are standard agreements we've had for several years with Community County Services.
Okay, item 7, consider linkage agreement with Community County Services.
Also move.
I'll second.
Moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
And then number 8, as already explained by Solicitor Bozovich, this is the purchase of service agreement with Community County Services Incorporated.
Also move.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And as part of number 8, we also have an addendum to the Appalachian Youth Service Agreement, standard agreement that we had approved. That was just to incorporate some additional services that we needed to put in that agreement.
Do you need a separate motion for
Yes.
that? So moved then.
Second.
Properly moved in second on the addendum, all in favor?
Aye.
Now, we have a number of reappointments, as these are different boards and different terms. We will do them individually. I think that's the best on this. First off, we're going to consider the reappointment of Jamie Straub to the Redevelopment Authority for a 5-year term.
Move to approve.
So I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
Next, we will, I'm going to ruin Richard's name here.
Gastonway.
Doesn't, Richard Castanway, doesn't look like that at
Did
all.
you put an N where there should be an S?
Yeah,
Maybe.
okay.
See if you guys are paying attention.
Yeah.
I thought that, Richard Castanway to the Area Transportation Authority, and that is also for a 5-year term.
Move to approve.
Second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
On the next one, I have a small correction.
Oh, man.
It's the Community Connections Advisory Board, and the only reason we need to say that is because we are on the Community Connections Board.
Yeah, that's true.
That's an advisory
Okay,
board.
this is made up of members of the community, where we sit on the main board,
The
so.
governing board, yeah.
The governing board. To the Community Connections Advisory Board for 3-year terms, Patrick Shea and Autumn Bloom.
I so move.
I'll second.
Properly moved in second, all in favor?
Aye.
And now to the Kerwinsville Lake Authority, 3-year terms, Adam Curry and Carl Heaton.
So moved.
Second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
And our final appointment to the Clearfield County Housing Authority, and this is for a 5-year term, is Maria Lemo.
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Do we have anything else from the solicitor
We
today?
do. As I think we've talked about quite a bit, we are looking as the Board of Elections to make some changes to the district alignments. We've spoken about those at various meetings, but we did receive a court date of December 10th at 2:00 p.m. for anybody who is interested, objecting, speaking in support of. That would be your time. That'll be in front of Judge Amerman to be heard. As a reminder, those are combining Cooper 1 and 2, Woodward 1 and 2, Beccaria 1 and 2, and Morris 1 and 2. So everybody will be voting.
Plus the changes to Du Bois.
And, well, and I was gonna say, a little different with the realignments, those aren't as easy as just combining. There were some changes to some of the lines, with the City of Du Bois, wards, as well as Sandy Township, to just get those to align. The school, as we had mentioned, did file a petition that was granted, so these changes are being made to also align with those changes that are gonna be done in the, voting districts.
I would just like to point out that I was at the school hearing, and it was very smooth. It was like 10 minutes. Judge asked a couple questions and just pushed it right through. So that was an important first
And
step.
all of these things will be handled en masse on the
Yeah,
10th.
Yes, they were all filed as separate petitions, however, the judge, because the nature of them are all very similar, had scheduled those all for the same time. As part of the requirement, public notices needed to be posted, so those have all been posted within the respective municipalities. So we have December 10th and 2, I'm gonna coordinate if Sabrina's willing to make sure those are gonna be posted on the election website for the maps and to
Yes.
help with zooming in, because obviously the petitions are a little harder to view, but that way if anyone has any specifics, you're able to see those a little closer.
And thank you, by the way, to your office, Chrissy. I heard she did above and beyond to
She
post
did
those
above and
things.
beyond to find some public spaces in some remote areas, so.
No,
Okay.
and we are all very appreciative of that. Okay, anything else from the solicitor?
That's all I have this morning.
Anything else to come before the board, gentlemen?
Just to point out that we signed the documents certifying the election this morning, so all done.
Okay, election done with no hitches.
Very, nothing major, very minor
Yeah,
stuff.
that-
This one was smooth.
And as always, just a friendly reminder, if you look outside, winter season is upon us. We ask everyone to please be diligent and safe, not just through the holidays, but throughout the entire winter season. Seeing nothing else before the board this morning, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
I'll second.
Properly moved and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, members of our viewing audience. And thank you to the treasurer for,
Those of you out in TV land.
yeah.
I guess Jay is our viewing audience.
Jerry is our viewing audience.